Your Way is presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. It's opening round coverage of the Alberta Classic. Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
That one was struck solid, about 290. Obviously, Frank, you want to hit good shots at a place like this, but you also want to take some shots. You want to snap off a few pictures because it's breathtaking.
I thought you were talking about big game hunting there, where you're saying you don't want to shoot these animals. They're beautiful. No, yeah, it is. It's wonderful to come up here and play golf.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Locked in on the read and the speed. And with the birdie, moves into the top 10 on the leaderboard.
And moves into some very good company.
Out to the 6th hole now, where the action is underway. Let's check in on our featured golfer. Frank, when you get out of the gates, as our featured golfer has done, with a lot of pars, steady play, what's the mindset?
You've got to keep doing that, Rich. Just maybe get a little closer to the hole, drive a little bit better, work on the pace of the putting. Just little gains, and then all of a sudden you're going to notice a big difference in the scorecard.
Second shot now to the 6th, Frank, to this slightly elevated green.
Which changes the optics, Rich, coming in here. You know, you'd think you'd want to hit a nice, high, lofted shot, but because that green's pitched up, you still skip one in there a little low, if you choose to.
That will be a great look at birdie. Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
In for birdie, and now 2 under for the tournament. Well, Frank, this is the longest hole on the golf course, 602 yards, obviously a par 5, though guys like Rory have to be thinking about making an easy 4, getting home in 2.
Yeah, you referenced it. Longest hole on the golf course. Yet Rory McIlroy still reached it in 2.
This sets up well for a chance at the green here at the 7th hole.
Second shot.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance really for birdie, but really it was a rather poor approach shot.
Looks like he just misread that.
And that par certainly won't hurt the cause.
And still some time. Frank, you like this kind of design feature where you go from the longest hole in the course immediately to the shortest hole.
Certainly, golf giveth and golf taketh away. This is just minimally uphill, just a couple of feet, but you can see from the overview the design of the green. When that flag's on the right, it's a little bit of a longer carry, so just be a little cognizant of that. You don't have to hit it directly at the flag.
Good swing, good shot yet again. You can't hide the flagstick from that man.
He is just unbelievable. That never deviated offline.
So close.
And yet it still counts for another shot.
Could use this one. This is for par. Holding steady now at 2 under par. So we'll round out the front side here at Banff Springs with a par 5 and reasonably short at only 501 yards.
So very reachable because of that yardage that you just referenced. Hole bends a little bit to the right. You can favor the left side with a tee shot. It's just going to make that angle on the second a little bit easier. Oh, that was sweet. Straight down the middle.
Well, Frank, what do you like here? Second shot to this par 5.
I like just the general terrain, Rich. Even though the water's on the right side, you want to keep away from that, which actually makes that ball go towards the general upslope of the green.
What a spectacular shot that was. He'll have a look at eagle. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Comfortably inside the cut line, the young prodigy makes another birdie.
That was a great first day out there, Rich.
I really enjoyed it. We saw a lot of birdies, excellent play, and some impressive names on top of this leaderboard. Anybody's game. Presented by EA Sports in association with the PGA Tour. Today, it's live second round coverage of the Alberta Classic. Well, this one's sweet, Frank.
Super.
Well, this looks good.
Certainly is. After that good tee shot, Rich, it's time to take full advantage of it.
And this is one where he can really go after the whole location and maybe think about making birdie. Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. On the green. And a chance for birdie here on the first hole. But he's going for back-to-back birdies here, trying to jumpstart this round.
Some momentum moving in the right direction.
Well, Well, you're not going to make that putt all the time, but you'd like to at least get it to the hole.
If he keeps putting like that, he's going to be an announcer in no time.
Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. So, Frank, a par 4 to open, and we back it up with a relatively short par 3.
This green's surrounded by 6 bunkers. Green also shaped slightly towards the player's left, so just keep your eye on that depending on where the flag is.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. We haven't seen a whole lot of that, Frank, but that has to feel good. Frank, plenty of scoring opportunities in the early portion of this golf course. We're now at a par 5, the third hole, and it's only 528 yards.
You can see why we're going to see a lot of people perhaps being 3 under through the first 3 holes, Rich. This par 5 bending to the right, very reachable. You just keep that tee shot nice and high off the tee. Let it carry as far as possible.
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway.
Well, with a good shot here, Rich. This eagle on the cards, hole very reachable from where he is.
Don't get many opportunities like this. This is a good place to take advantage. Great effort right there, and a great chance to knock in that short putt. Shouldn't be a problem here. Makes an eagle to move into the top 25. Frank, when you play Banff, you get some of these wow moments where you stand on the tee and you say, ooh, look at
this is one. Yeah, this is one of them, Rich. Yeah, the elevation change from tee to green is quite dramatic. Consequently, you're going to have to club down a little, at least 2 clubs shorter than what that yardage says on the card. Yeah, this is not heading in the right direction.
Well, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Solid play, heart of the green. That's a nice confidence builder right there. You make those for par, and you keep things steady. Well, again, Frank, we get that good mix of holes here. We've had a couple of par 3s, a short par 5, and that opening par 4. Now at the 5th hole, 424-yard par 4.
The first bunker on the right. Oh, he is winding this one up. Does he have the power?
I mean, that is one of the hardest drives I have ever seen. Just let it rip. Well, not this time. That one's in the rough. Might be a tough shot coming up. Well, we've got about 135 yards left. That should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. And with that birdie, moving into the top 5 on the leaderboard.
And we're starting to notice the name.
Frank, as we arrive here at the par 4 sixth hole, reasonably short at 373 yards, a lot of golfers arrive at a hole like this and they'll think, well, I'm just going to blast it away because it's such a short four. You think these kinds of holes require a little more thinking?
They certainly do, Rich. If you can't drive it to the front edge of the green, there's no point really trying to hit it through that narrow neck. You can just sort of knock a 3-wood down there, or something that's going to give you a decent yardage where you can at least spin that second shot. If you can guarantee that ball's going to stop when it lands, it's going to be much easier than trying to fashion some sort of pitch and run.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. It's a good-looking putt right here. He might like it. Good birdie right there, moving to third place on the leaderboard. So that is a top 10 performance through 2 rounds, Frank.
It's always nice to know that you have a shot with 2 rounds left in the tournament.
This is EA Sports, PGA Tour coverage coming up next. Today it's live third round coverage of the Alberta Classic. Well, the bad news is he missed his target by quite a bit. The good news, he's still on the green. Needs a pair of binoculars to see the hole. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Just slides by.
Yeah, can't afford to miss too many of those out here today.
Getting set now over the putt. Frank, it's been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey.
Yeah, it's not exactly a small gap between that player there and the rest of the field. That gap's got to feel like the Grand Canyon right now.
That is massive off the tee.
Meters, yards, I don't care how you measure that. That's got to be what? 300 meters, 325 yards, something like that.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Pretty good shot right there. Solid par. Frank, what are we looking at here at the par 412, 442 yards?
Players are really focused on that bunker down the left side. That's the one that has to be either laid up, which would be 286 yards off the tee, or sort of worked off. This could very well be a 3-wood off the tee. Just hit it straight at that left bunker.
Just amazing what they're able to do with that golf swing. Hit it so far at that size. Not overly big, but man, can really move it a long ways. And now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball's sitting up. You can bring it in high. You can bring it in low. The choice is yours. There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
That's well played. Places it about 10 feet out for birdie. Birdie putt coming up. The par on this hole yesterday. So close. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knocking in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the course.
Just singes the edge, Frank.
Yeah, but at least he's burning the edges. You know you're hitting good putts.
Just a tap in to finish the hole.
Well read.
13th hole, par 3, 225 yards and heavily bunkered around that green, Frank.
It is, but that green gets narrower as the hole gets longer. Nothing wrong with hitting the ball sort of the middle part of the green here.
Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Oh, man. You can't miss him from that distance. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. He's made it. Back here at the par 4 14th, and we are ready to tee off. 442-yard hole, Frank.
It's called wampum. My Canadian's not that good, so I don't know what that means, but the way I decipher it, another little dog leg to the right with bunkers all over the place. It's sort of in the place where you'd like to hit the tee shot is exactly where that crop of, what is that, 5 bunkers down the left side. So you're going to have to somehow squeeze it just right at that. Very awkward tee shot.
Frank, that is position A.
Yeah, the tee shot was like silk, Rich. I mean, just sets up that second shot so beautifully.
That is classy.
No chance of going in.
He's putting for birdie now. That shot falls for a birdie. Frank, you've been there at so many tournaments around the world. One round to go, a chance to win. What's that feeling like?
Oh, this is the fun part, knowing whether or not your body can handle the situation. You got to push it to the limit, but that's what sport and golf is all about. Trying to do something that you've dreamed of for so long.
This is EA Sports PGA Tour coverage coming up next. Golf Channel on NBC and EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today it's live final round coverage of the Alberta Classic. Good swing, good shot yet again. What a display of shot making this has been, Frank.
Oh, that incredible approach shot there. The easiest of birdies coming up.
Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round. Has it. Good putt right there. On to the 14th hole now. It's a par 4, 442 yards. And what's the right way to attack here, Frank?
Two choices. Try and squeeze it down the right side, just short of those big bunkers on that right. Either that or carry the bunker complex on the left. A little awkward.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
Frank, this is just a pleasure to watch. A player hitting on all cylinders at the top of his game.
Notice it's just flowing too. There's not a lot of deep analysis going through his mind. Just one step in front of the other. If your swing's there, you don't have to find it. If your putting stroke's there, you don't have to find it. Just let it happen.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way. This is like cyber vision. Shot after shot, right at the flag.
Just dialed in. This one just requires a little bit of focus.
Oh, painful lip out. That was a good putt.
Absolutely can't believe it. I thought that thing was stone dead in the center. Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. And Frank, ahead on the green, you could have a really crazy putt if you're not careful.
This is probably the most undulating green on the golf course, so you do not want to be going in with too flat a second shot.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
This hole really sets up well for the player. Birdie yesterday, and a chance for another one today. Shouldn't be a problem here. Frank, where has that been?
Yeah, thank God for small mercies.
Moving on to number 16 now. It's a par 4, 414 yards. And Frank, what are we looking at here?
It's another hole that'll favour a nice sort of high draw off the tee. It'll set up that second shot to a green that has got several different levels on it.
It's nice to roll in a 25-footer now and then. Those feel good. But still, there's nothing like hitting that perfect tee ball. Long and straight.
Yeah, you can puff out your chest, last to play, the advantage, holes shorter. Basically, the list goes on.
Good-looking shot right here. See if you can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. Made par yesterday. This one for birdie. Oh, and it's good. What an amazing putt. Frank, as we make our way to the house, a chance here at the 17th, just 374 yards, a chance for a birdie.
It certainly is. Anytime you see a hole today under 400 yards, a par 4 that is, you know you're going to get a short on your iron. You know you're going to get a short iron in your hand if you hit a good tee shot. Just avoid the bunkers left and right off the tee. Green does slope back to front, so it pitches nicely towards you, making that second shot, if anything, a little easier.
Just a perfect drive here at 17. This has left him a good look at this hole. Oh, looked like he caught a flyer right there, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he caught, but this is way too much.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
Okay, good shot on the dance floor. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Oh, I thought he had that. That's just a poor putt right there. No other way to say it. And a drop shot, a bogey at 17. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Continues to putt beautifully. Well, here we are at the final hole here at Banff Springs, 578-yard par 5, and Frank, a chance to finish the round with a flourish.
If you're one of the fortunate to hit this fairway, it's very reachable, but well protected by bunkers, left, right, central bunkers as well. You really have to be aware of two things, the wind direction and exactly how far you can carry that tee shot if you want to find this fairway. This is definitely not going down the fairway.
It doesn't look good. I think it's going to be in the deep rough. Frank, better than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that looked like it was headed for that thick stuff the whole way, but a little fortunate. But then I guess you're allowed that in this game.
And a chance for eagle after that perfectly played shot.
Really. This is that awkward length. Just seems an absolute waste. Got to take your time.
See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. Really starting to shine, moves to 10 under for the tournament. So another tournament in the books, Frank, and what'd you make of this one?
Quality venue once again, Rich. The standard of courses we're seeing is excellent, and consequently it's enabling the players to really play some great golf. So I think golf's the winner today.